All right, everybody, welcome to another We've Read the Documents live stream. I'm your host, John Brisson. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you have had a happy Resurrection Sunday. He is risen. Today, I'm going to discuss more about Barbara Marx Hubbard. I'm going to read a brief thank you to her from the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum, and then I'm going to play her 1984 Democratic Vice Presidential National Convention speech and give commentary on that speech. I have released my Barbara Marx Hubbard dossier as part of my Finders Operation book on my Substack. So if you want to read me piecemealing my Finders book in order of the chapters as I am writing it and drafting it, it will be rough draft or published on Substack, and maybe even some other writings I may publish too as well. Of mine, it's only $5 a month or $50 a year, so please subscribe if you want to learn about the Finders Operation. And if anybody subscribes for $50 a year, will get a copy of my book when it is completed. But for now, I have all of Chapter 1 up there about Marion Petty's early life. The intro into Chapter 2, that I have a part of Chapter 2, which is Barbara Marx Hubbard. Next week, I will be releasing the information on Roy Mason, and then so forth and so on. I will release 1 to 2 new newsletters a week on Substack. As well as I'm still running or using my Subscribestar YouTube channel since YouTube gave me it back. So I've been producing videos for that as well. 1 to 2 videos a week too. It's also only $5 a month if you want extra We've Read the Documents content. But that's enough shilling myself. So here we have Barbara Marx Hubbard and the origins of the pro-space movement in the 1970s. It's posted on March 24th, 2010. The formal beginnings of the modern pro-space movement, really an extension of the ad hoc efforts to gain and sustain public support for an aggressive spaceflight agenda earlier led by Wernher von Braun. Remember the supposed deathbed confession of Wernher von Braun about a false alien invasion? And others might be traced to the June 1970 formation of the Committee for the Future, a small group of space activists, dreamers, and misfits meeting in the home of Barbara Marx Hubbard, daughter of the Toy King, and her husband, artist, philosopher Earl Hubbard, in Lakeville, Connecticut. They proposed establishing a lunar colony. They unabashedly offered this as a great utopian experiment in which humanity, free from the constraints of everyday society, very libertine, very do what thou wilt, could create a perfect community. Of course, over here it says if you like this, you'll also like queer space, because, of course, space is fake and gay. And then you have queer space saxophones on the moon. So, okay, let's continue. The CFF's charter clearly voiced these utopian ideals. Earthbound history has ended. Universal history has begun. Mankind has been born into an environment of immeasurable possibilities. We, the Community for the Future, believe that the long-range goal of mankind should be to seek and settle new worlds, to survive and realize the common aspiration of all people for a future of unlimited opportunity. This generation must begin now to find the means of converting the planets into life support systems for the race of men. They concluded a challenge of this magnitude can emancipate the genius of man. They also offered shares in a lunar colony to millions of investors, immediately creating a constituency that could lobby Congress for funding for bold space ventures. Interestingly enough, some 1980s CMP documents that I had, they had a lawyer discuss this very thing, where he talked about the law of space and the packaging of buying certain plots of the moon. It's interesting that CMP, a so-called Christian conservative organization, would be obsessed with the moon, just like Barbara Marx Hubbard, and parsing out parts of space for the highest bidder, but they convinced Representative Alan Teague, a longtime supporter of Apollo, to sponsor a resolution calling for a study of the feasibility of this lunar effort. When NASA, the aerospace industry, of course, NASA stands for never a straight answer, and the science community opposed the resolution, fearing that it might jeopardize other plans, it died a prompt death in Congress. Committee for the Future then rewrote the bill to propose a citizens in space mission in low Earth orbit called Mankind 1. But NASA opposed that as well, and it met a similar fate. Many with NASA apparently agreed with the ideology of the Committee for the Future, although they eschewed its political strategies. Barbara Marx Hubbard wrote how, upon first meeting Christopher C. Kraft, director of the Manned Spacecraft Center, renamed the Johnson Space Center in 1973, he told her, "This step into the universe is a religion, and I'm a member of it." This step into the universe is a religion, and I'm a member of it. Hubbard was deeply troubled, however, by the reaction of NASA to the Committee for the Future's proposals. She wrote the corporate decision NASA as a government agency was less responsive than the decision of any of its individual members. One may trace this to incidents, the beginnings among the Committee of the Future of awareness that NASA might not do the right thing in opening the space frontier to citizen activities. Such wariness continues to present among many in the pro-space movement. Organized symposia called synergistic convergences, or syncons. Interesting, the fighters used to set up a lot of her syncons for her. And publishing this pro-space and publishing literature about a hopeful future in space. Members of the CFF converted a sizable group of mostly young people to a utopian future in space. Space groupies came from everywhere to participate in the syncons, some wearing Star Trek uniforms. Gene Roddenberry was a member of the World Future Society, and so was Barbara Marx Hubbard. So, energizing a lower base of activists who firmly believe that only through space settlement will the human destiny of a perfect society be realized. When the Committee of the Future ceased to exist as a separate organization in the mid-1970s, Barbara Marx Hubbard continued her commitment to an expansive human future in space. More assuredly, the space professionals at NASA, an industry considered Barbara Marx Hubbard and the CFF, both then and now, somewhat wacky and without substance. But the CFF represented a strain of spaceflight enthusiasm that could not be ignored. One of the emphasized individual activism and blatant utopianism, and gained a greater respectability than later espoused by more credible advocates such as Princeton University professor Gerard K. O'Neill and Cornell University astrophysicist Carl Sagan in the later 1970s. Barbara Marx Hubbard has remained involved in futurist activity since this time. She was a founding member of the World Future Society. So was Marianne Petty, the Society of the Universal Human, and co-founder of the Foundation of Conscious Evolution. All right. Well, that was interesting. I'll put it that way. So here we have Barbara Marx Hubbard's vice presidential nomination speech, 1994. Of course, that vice presidential nomination position after Barbara Marx Hubbard conceded would be given to Geraldine Ferraro. Of course, Geraldine Ferraro ran with Walter Mondale, of course, lost to Ronald Wilson Reagan and George H.W. Bush. But, yeah, it's still quite interesting nonetheless. Walter Mondale also was a speaker to the World Future Society. It's unknown if he was a member. So let us begin.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall now receive a nomination for Vice President of the United States. This is the first of the two nominations that you will receive. We've had two valid petitions received by the Secretary of this convention. We shall have now the nomination of Barbara Marx Hubbard of California. The chair recognizes Dick Celsey, chair of the Oregon Democratic Party, to place the name in nomination. Dick Celsey.
Thank you, Governor. Madam Chair, brothers and sisters of the Democratic Party, I am Dick Celsey, chair of the Democratic Party of Oregon, and a strong and enthusiastic supporter of the Mondale-Ferraro ticket. I am also proud to offer in nomination for the office of Vice President the name of Barbara Marx Hubbard of California. Barbara Hubbard has a message and a vision to offer the Democratic Party and the people of this world. It is a message of hope. It is a vision of the future. For 12 months, Barbara has traveled across this country from Maine to Hawaii, from Alaska to Puerto Rico, in her campaign for the vice presidency, explaining her platform and expanding the base of her support. Her campaign has resulted in hundreds of positive future centers and thousands of adherents dedicated to the development of a process that will evoke out of everyone their very best and achieved through political activity in support of progressive candidates and issues. I ask that you listen to her message and that you join in her dedication to a future of hope and promise. It is with great pleasure that I place in nomination the name of Barbara Marx Hubbard.
Very much. Thank you very much.
Now, look, you know that I know that the conservatives are evil too and wicked as well. But, I mean, look, the Democrats, okay, they allowed this woman to run for vice president and to give a speech, and they're all clapping, all right? We're going to listen to this speech. Now, this woman is evil as the day is long, all right? But they're all like, yeah, Barbara Marx Hubbard, and they're clapping during her speech, as evil as her speech is. I mean, this lays out the Democrats. It really does. It really, truly does.
Thank you to the 202 delegates who placed my nomination, and thank you to the Democratic Party and the American system that allows a citizen politician to come forth.
You're not a citizen politician. You're a member of the elite. Your father was extremely wealthy financier who owned numerous toy factories and financed the Bush administration. He financed her to George H.W. Bush and the Bush family. So yeah, it ain't like a citizen running for vice president would be like Joe Blow down the street or Martha or someone else. All right, like not you. All right, you're a member of the elite, woman.
And seek the nomination for vice president. The theme of my campaign is to fulfill the dream, a campaign for a positive future. In 1776, our forebears freed the individual from the tyranny of the divine right of kings.
So we entered the divine right of man, okay? So she lays it out right there, 1776. We're going to start with that. She is saying that they ended the divine right of kings. Now, granted, the divine right of kings wasn't, the governmental system that God had set up initially. Israel begged and cried for a king just like the other nations, so they got Saul, who turned out to be a tyrant, okay? But then they did later get David. But so nonetheless, so we had, God's governmental structure of, kind of like a local rule in combination with kind of like these, as Michael Heisner would say, kind of like these, like a heavenly council as well, and kind of rule together, but instead, no, you have the divine right of kings, and then you move on to the divine right of man, which is the governmental structure that we have today with the republic, with democracy. It's the divine right of man. So she's glorifying the divine right of man, okay? It's interesting.
They stated the self-evident truth that all men are created equal when there was no equality in the world. There were kings and subjects, classes and races, sexism, yet the power of the word of truth changed the world.
So what word of truth is she talking about? Is she talking about the Declaration of Independence? Or is she talking about, who is, the Word, the Logos, truth, Jesus Christ? So which one is she talking about here?
1984, we face a tyranny far greater than King George, and we are seeking a freedom even greater than that of the individual. The tyranny we face is the threat of the extinction of the human race. And the freedom we seek is the emancipation of the genius of the human race to fulfill.
The emancipation of the genius. Huh. So the Ubermenches.
Fulfill our highest potential. In 1984, we must state the new self-evident truth from the point of power of the American presidency. And the power of this word will transform the world once again. The new truth is that we are one planet, we are one peoples of earth, and we will live and die together forevermore. It is now in our capacity to destroy civilization as we know it, or to build a world of unprecedented opportunity for all people. We in the Democratic Party have already chosen to commit our strength to the proposition that all people must be housed, clothed, fed, and educated.
We have already chosen the shift from weaponry to livingry. Now, to fulfill that commitment, we must combine our compassion with our creativity.
Okay, so she's calling for, instead of the military-industrial complex, for people to receive food, housing, and clothing. Okay, yeah, I'll concede that ain't going to happen. This is coming out of the mouth of an elitist New Ager who's satanic. But I mean, yeah, I mean, instead of bombs, maybe we could take care of the American citizens around us, you know, instead of, you know, world elite war. Sure, okay, like, I could, you know, broken clock's right twice a day, you know, if she really truly means that. She doesn't. But if she did, yeah, sure. I mean, instead of, you know, spending all this money on the machinations of war, we could take care of our people, you know. I mean, we could even take care of our vets that serve in these wars. You know, how bad that the government just spits them out and treats them. Or just, you know, the average person. I mean, yeah, she's right about that. But the thing is does she really mean that, though? I mean, this woman has never hurt in a day of her life financially, okay? Like, I don't understand if she don't understand going to a pawn shop and pawning something to be able to buy food for your family. All right, like, are these vain, you know, useless platitudes?
We must initiate a new process in democracy to identify our positive options, discover our potentials, and commit our political will to long-range goals to fulfill that dream. The office of the Vice President is the perfect place to call forth the genius of our people to build a world equal to our power and our aspiration. We have dreamed the dream, Jesse, and we must converge the new ideas, Gary, and we must organize with our masterful new president, Walter Mondale, to do the work. There now resides...
Do the work. Whose work? God's work? Your work? The elite's work? Satan's work? Interesting phrase, do the work. Oh, witches and warlocks say do the work.
In the body politic, the knowledge, the skills, the technologies, and the resources to fulfill that commitment. But they are horribly misused. 80% of our scientific and technological genius is focused on killing. Our foreign policy is threatening...
Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I would say a lot of our scientific prowess is focused on killing, whether they realize it or not. I mean, you could just look at Big Pharma, for example. Yeah, okay, sure. But then again, you say to be like Christ, you know, we have to use biotechnology and transhumanism and atomic energy and atomic technology and space travel and genetic manipulation, like, you know. But you say you're going to do it for the right reasons. Okay, you're going to do it correctly, and that's what our science should be used for. But our science is instead used for death. So, like, you're saying that our science is used for death, but yet you want to also use the science the way it's being using by death by the elites right now. So it's kind of hypocritical, because you want to move it to bombs, to mRNA technology. You want to move it to bombs, to seeding the cosmos. You want to use the bombs and advance in nuclear technology, which, I mean, in and of itself produces nuclear waste. So I mean, I don't understand. Like, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. Like, you're moving this around, and you're like, well, they use it just to make guns and bombs and grenades and missiles, but, you know, I'm going to use it to use science to make these other things. But none of this glorifies God. It's just so you can live in some sort of elitist utopia.
Threatening the world with global suicide, and so is the policy of the Soviet Union. The United States of America started the game. We must change the game. We must not simply reduce the defense budget, we must convert the military-industrial complex from destruction to construction.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, bring the military back, have them build factories, put Americans back to work. Okay, Sure.
We must attract friend and foe alike to a new challenge, the building of new worlds on this earth and new worlds in space.
Hey, now you lost me there, Barbara. You went from constructing, bringing our boys back home, have them build new roads and new infrastructure and upgrade our infrastructure, and build factories and bring manufacturing back to the United States. Have the military-industrial complex do that instead of making bombs and guns and missiles. And then it went from doing that to, now let's do it around the world, and then let's do it in space. It always goes back to space with these people. Like, shouldn't we improve the world and make it better before we go to space? Wouldn't we ruin space the same way that, we've ruined the world? And look, I'm no, Gaia-worshipping person, obviously, by making that statement. But, I mean, we have, through our dominion, polluted, the elite have polluted the world a lot. I mean, let's be real here, okay? Like, they have. So there's a lot of pollution in the world that should be cleaned up, that should be dealt with, that should be reduced as much as it possibly can be. I do believe in that. I mean, no one wants to, live in a polluted world, and this is God's creation. We should, treat it with, some respect. But there's a difference between, looking at it that way, that maybe we should not pollute in our backyard or crap where we eat, compared to worshiping Mother Earth, which I'm not. That's complete blasphemy. But yeah, instead of maybe making the working on the pollution that we have in the world and the living conditions of the world, or even in our country, in the United States, and making it better. No, let's go to Mars. Let's go to the moon. Let's go to Jupiter. Let's go to outside of the cosmos, outside the Milky Way galaxy. It's just like, come on, really?
We must dedicate our power to overcoming hunger in this century, to restoring our environment, to emancipating our creativity, and to exploring the further reaches of the human spirit and the infinite universe.
No, Mark, you're right. Mark mentioned I can't make it to the launching of the space rocket if the roads all have potholes in them. That's true.
We must bring together the genius now focused in the war room in a peace room in the White House. Its purpose will be to defeat the real enemies of humanity: hunger, disease.
Of course, it shows Voice of America. Look, Voice of America broadcasting the propaganda of Marx Hubbard at the Democratic 1984 convention to the world.
Illiteracy.
Was Dick Carlson the head of Voice of America yet? I don't think he was at that time. Good old Tucker Carlson's daddy.
Poverty and war. Its goal will be to plan for the real victories and to map the real breakthroughs. What is now working in health, education, productivity, new energies, community building, education, space development, self-help works, and so forth. We have separated our intelligence from our love, our minds from our hearts. The Rainbow Coalition is bringing together all colors and races. It is also now the coalescing of the mind with the heart. It is now time for a new marriage. We should have a wedding in the White House. It is the wedding of love and knowledge.
Here we go. Now we're going to get into the real blasphemic stuff. Hope you guys are prepared for this. Now we're going to get into the real blasphemic stuff. All right?
Spirit and material power. Our forebears set forth the vision. It is written on the dollar bill as it is written in our hearts. E pluribus unum, out of many, one. Novus ordo seclorum, a new order of the ages.
Revelation of the method. Blavatsky would be proud. E pluribus unum. Out of many, one. Novo ordo seclorum. New world order of the ages. Oh, what ages are you talking about, Barbara Marx Hubbard? The new world order of love and light, huh? Let's go back and play that back. Let's play that back.
And material power. Our forebears set forth the vision. It is written on the dollar bill as it is written in our hearts. E pluribus unum, out of many, one. Novus ordo seclorum, a new order of the ages. You see the unfinished pyramid with the cosmic eye. This means that when we combine our magnificent building power with our spirit and love, we will have a new order of the ages.
She just laying it out there. She just I mean, what? Dude, are people listening? Brothers and sisters, are you listening? I mean, what else? What am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say to that? Satanic. I need to play that again. I need to make sure y'all need to listen to this. She is laying it out. This is a revelation of the method. If revelation of the method exists, it's right here, right now. Y'all listening, lock in, all right?
It is the wedding of love and knowledge, of spirit and material power. Our forebears set forth the vision. It is written on the dollar bill as it is written in our hearts.
As it is written in our hearts, okay? Oh. She's blaspheming the words of the Lord, God's word of the Holy Bible. She's conflicting it as not what our conscience not being written upon our heart, or being judged by our heart, which is, kind of what they consider to be the new covenant, right? And so she's saying that, it's not. I don't even know where to start with this. So bad. I was going to excuse me a minute.
Pluribus unum, out of many, one. Novus ordo seclorum, a new order of the ages. You see the unfinished pyramid with the cosmic eye. This means that when we combine our magnificent building power with our spirit and love, we will have a new order of the ages. And finally it says, annuit ceptis, God favors this enterprise. This means that we are not doing this work alone.
Yeah, let's just go with that co-creation stuff, the little G philosophy. She's going with the little G philosophy now. We're helping out God. God needs our help, you guys. God needs our help of building his kingdom down here. And God needs our help to do all these scientific advances like longevity and mRNA technology and bioengineering and biotechnology and transhumanism and cybernetics and atomic weapons or atomic energy, which Alice Bailey said was the creation of life, space travel and seeding the stars, as Marx Hubbard would say, Homo Universalis. That's what it is to be Christ-like, according to Barbara Marx Hubbard. That's what written upon our hearts. This woman is wicked as the day is long. The law of God, the law of God, the law of God is written on everybody's heart, not this schlock, not this, Luciferian do what thou wilt, schlock. It's ridiculous.
The force is with us. It is the intention of creation that human beings cooperate to build a world in which all people are free to do their best. It is to this new order that we must now recommit.
No, we're called to do the Great Commission. We're called to preach the gospel in the hopes that people will be saved. Yes, and in turn they'll turn from sin and they'll be Christ-like and they'll they'll do good works to glorify God and not themselves. Yes, of course, but this is again this New Age inversion of this. It's you save yourself, God and Jesus don't save you.
The tradition of America is transformation. We must go forth from this place with a vision of the future equal to our capacities. We have the first woman Vice President, Geraldine Ferraro, to bring feminine power to nurture the potential of the world.
Jezebel spirit.
I support her totally and enthusiastically. The family of America joined with the family...
I don't know who this dude is, but yeah, oh boy.
of the world from whence we come is the new coalition. Together we shall go to the mountaintop. In this campaign, Martin, Robert, Malcolm, and John, Socrates, and Jesus.
One person she named are not like the other persons, okay? You got Malcolm X, she mentioned Martin Luther King, Socrates. Well, the person that she mentioned that was, because to her it's different than all the rest of them, would be Jesus Christ, who was God in the flesh. The rest of these people were just merely mortals. They were merely mortals. But to her, they're all teachers. They're just all teachers, Jesus isn't any special to her. She puts Jesus up there with Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X and Socrates. Okay? Oh, okay. All right, Barbara. I mean, I've read enough of your writings. You literally say that you could be equal to Jesus, if not surpass him. It's blasphemy. And you're a joke.
Galileo and Gandhi, we pledge...
Oh, Galileo and Gandhi. Oh, boy, Galileo's there with Jesus. Galileo... What is this, like the... Like her version of like the ascended teachers, like Hall of Justice, and Jesus is thrown in there with the rest of them, right? Jesus isn't different. Jesus isn't God in the flesh, all right? No. My head hurts. My head hurts.
To you who have climbed this mountain before us alone, that this time we are coming together. They can kill us one by one, but they can never kill us if we join hands and climb together.
What? They can kill who? So you're hand in hand with Jesus? That is some inversion martyrdom. That's some inversion of martyrdom. Like, she's like, I'm hand in hands with Jesus and Socrates and Galileo and Gandhi and, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. And, they killed them, but they can't kill us all if our hands are run up the mountains to greet them. It's like, Barbara, again, Jesus is like, he was God in the flesh. Like, he's different than all these other people who have died, who were killed. I'm losing something here. Like, I don't... Like, I know you're not a Christian, and I know obviously you're satanic, but this is just bastardization. Like... Jesus was perfect. He was sinless. He didn't deserve to die. And I'm not saying per se that these other people did, but like, he is different. He's God. Like, for her just to say that, everybody be like, yeah, that's right, Barbara. Woo.
Through you, we have caught a glimpse of the human race acting at its highest. Now, as a united party and peoples, we can act out the dream. What can I contribute to this magnificent effort? With your help, I can gather the people to build the Peace Room and the Office for the Future in this administration. I have spent the last 20 years discovering the new ideas that work. My credentials are in the future. I, too, am the daughter of an American immigrant who came to the City of Hope, New York City. In 1776...
Jewish immigrants.
A handful of genius came together to take the first step. In 1984, it will not be a handful, it will be a land full of genius. We will gather in every town, in every village, in every city, in new town meetings of the future, to envision the possible society, to seek common goals, to match our needs with our resources, and to cooperate to create the world we choose. We will think globally and act locally. This must be a campaign for a positive future. I propose that we do not spend a single penny or waste a single moment of time on that which divides us, because a house divided against itself cannot stand. It is time to unite not just Democrat with Democrat, but all Americans in a common cause. The cause of America is the cause of the world. Let the Democrats go forth not only as a united force, but as a uniting force for this nation. And
again, she talks about how the leader, the pale horse rider from the Revelation, of how they're going to call 1/4 of the population that will not ascend. But yet she talks about, I know I'm harping back to what she said a minute ago, but she talks about how they can't kill us. So what is this? Is it like you talking about like the populace, when they realize how wicked you are as an elitist, they're not going to kill you, Barbara? Like, is this some sort of like inversion of that or something? Like, she's comparing herself to being on par with Jesus Christ, and then being like, well, Jesus Christ was martyred, and so these people are going to martyr me too. I mean, I don't even know where to start with any of this stuff. Like, this is just complete blasphemy and lunacy. Like, this woman is evil and cold and calculating, but yes, also offer a rocker. I mean, it has to be because she is so full of demons. She is so full of, what she calls ascended masters. I mean, she does automatic writing. I mean, as Frida Kappas put in the chat, 1/4 of humanity must be a limited for social body. We're in charge of God's selection process for planet Earth. He selects, we destroy. We are the riders of the pale horse of death. Like, so this woman talks about they're going to kill us, we're going to be martyred, but we can't be martyred if we all hold hands and do kumbaya. But yet she talks about killing 1/4 of humanity off. Like this.
And we shall work together to fulfill the dream. We will state the word of truth from the place of power in the American presidency.
All right, this last part is extremely blasphemic. Extremely blasphemic. So I'm going to restart it, okay? Get ready.
Nation, and we shall work together to fulfill the dream. We will state the word of truth from the place of power in the American presidency. When the word of our potentials goes forth from the American presidency, the word shall be made flesh. In 1776, they aligned to do it, they committed to it, and they co-created it. So must we, and so shall it be. I thank you very much for this opportunity, and I look forward to supporting Walter Mondale and Geraldine Ferraro in our quest for the presidency. Thank you.
All right, so this was her concession speech. So let me go back. I want you to hear that again. I'm not going to give any commentary to it. I want you to hear that again, okay? She lays it all out. This is revelation. If revelation of the method exists, this is revelation of the method. And it doesn't get more blasphemy than this either. And she lays it out of how it was evil when this country was founded in 1776 with all the founding fathers. The majority of them were Masons and Deists and Luminists and Satanists. All right? She literally says that here. For all those people that want to glorify the founding of this country, and I'm not saying that the people, most of the American citizens were good Christian folk, okay? Like, that came over from Europe, okay? Like, I'm not saying that they weren't, all right? But, like, the elite were corrupt as the day is long. And she lays it out here for everybody who idolizes the founding fathers. They're confused. I mean, look into the documentary and the work of Christian J. Pinto on this. It's clear as the day is long.
The word of truth from the place of power in the American presidency. When the word of our potentials goes forth from the American presidency, the word shall be made flesh. In 1776, they aligned to do it, they committed to it, and they co-created it. So must we, and so shall it be.
She literally speaks it into existence there, and so shall we, and so shall it be. That's magic. That's spelling. All right, she's literally doing that right there, like literally spell casting right there. And she lays it out that the word became flesh. Well, that's Jesus. That's not this Luciferian divine right of man that started in 1776 in the United States of America. This speech lays it all out for those who can hear. If you can hear, all right? especially if anybody out there, and I'm talking to, are Christians who are born again. Like, you should see through this wickedness and realize that she is telling you the truth here. As wicked as that truth may be, but she is laying it out about, the founding of our country, of 1776, of their beliefs of wanting to lead, of bringing a brave new order of love and light. Like, she is laying that out. She is laying out of how they look at it and what it is. And it is disgusting and abhorrent and evil. But she is laying it out. Jesus Christ is the Word. He is the Logos. For all things through him was created. But no, again, she goes to the little God philosophy that the founding fathers of this nation co-created with God this country. That's blasphemy. This woman is blaspheming. She's a witch. She's a New Age witch. She's full of I don't know how many demons. The thing is she's not stupid. She's brilliant. And she's an elite of the elite. This isn't like a New Ager who's probably filled with the spirit of divination, the spirit of Python. Like, this isn't someone who's just, someone who is a Gnostic. Like, okay, this isn't like who I used to be, where I was just a Gnostic. I was left to my own delusion and my own arrogancy and my own hubris. I'm just a guy, all right? And so, so me saying that stuff, I'm just lost. I'm lost to the delusion, all right? But she's an elitist. She's an elite of the elite. And she's saying this stuff, all right? There's a big difference between some just average person that is a Gnostic that's just deluded. I mean, God help them, preach the gospel to them. I thank God every day that he pulled me out of that delusional, arrogant nonsense and delivered me. He freed me. Jesus truly frees the captives, of those who believe. Of those who believe, and when they hear the word and repent and are born again and are rejuvenated. This woman is wicked as the day is long. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. They want me to be nice. They want me to sin of being nice. Oh, John, you're being so harsh talking about Barbara Marx Hubbard like that. And New Agers like that. How dare you? Why are you're not being nice. I don't want to be nice. I want to please God. Sometimes being good isn't being nice. Doing the right thing isn't being nice. I needed somebody to wake me up, to snack me out of it. All the New Agers think like her, whether they realize it or not. They might have the best intentions and think they're doing the best work, love and light and all that. They're a light worker and all that, but they all think the same thing this woman says. It's the same stuff that Alice Bailey and Madame Blavatsky and Albert Pike. It's the same stuff. And Manly P. Hall. Insert Gnostic here, the Gnostic writings of the Gnostic Gospels, Simon Magus's thoughts and beliefs, Mystery Babylon, the Mystery Schools, all the way back to the lie of the serpent told Eve that she eats from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, that she will be like God and she will live forever. It's the same lie, and these people believe that lie, and Satan is the master of lies. They think they're doing good, but they're really being wicked. It's sad. It truly is sad. Yes, people are Marx Hubbard. She upsets me. I try to talk to the Gnostics out there. Yes, sometimes I get angry and upset at them. God, may you humble me. But hey, sometimes it takes a heavy hand. Sometimes it takes a heavy hand. So I guess it's up to the direction that the Holy Spirit gives, direction of one's conscience, of whether you show grace and are nice to a person, or whether you try to smack them upside of the head metaphorically and say, hey, you're on a path to hell. Wake up. Yes, you're right, Rich. Be bold. Was she Elron's wife? No. The Hubbard that she married, I can't find any connection between her husband, because she left her original husband and kids to go gallivant with Jonas Salk, as evil as he was. So we get our modern day vaccines from. It's just, man, it's truly evil. New age, truly evil. So she leaves to go gallivanting with him. Leaves her husband or her kids, just leaves them. She leaves them. And then she eventually meets Hubbard and gets married to him. Now, I don't know if Hubbard is related to Elrod. I can't find any documentation of that. It's like I can't find any documentation if she's related to Karl Marx. I mean, her parents were Jewish. They immigrated. I just can't find any, she might be distant related to Karl Marx, but I can't find any. It's just interesting that her name happens to be Barbara Marx Hubbard, right? Karl Marx, L. Ron Hubbard. It's interesting that that's her name. Like of all the names that she could be, Marx Hubbard, But that's really about it. All right, everybody. Well, that is it. God bless each and every one of you. Yeah, Mark, if you want to take a look to see, you're better at the genealogy stuff than I concede that I'm not that great at it. You are way better than I. If you want to take a crack at it and take a look, I'd appreciate it sometime. I know you're busy. Busy with our own research. But, all right, that's it. So if you want more on my Finders book, subscribe to my Substacks, only $5 a month or $50 a year. I'll be releasing the chapter on Roy Mason in the next week or two. I'll be releasing 2 videos for my Subscribe Star this week, $5 a month. I've been reading Barbara Marx Hubbard's Happy Birthday, Planet Earth. So if you want to learn more about Barbara Marx Hubbard and her writings and give commentary on it and how frustrating it gets me, I'm on chapter 6 now, which is Love Conquers All. And then after that, we have chapter 7, which would be the fruition of 2,000 years. So we'll be listening to more blasphemic writings and butchering of using eisegesis to discuss scripture instead of using exegesis. It's disgusting. I'm also covering the Rogers Park Jewish Community Center pedophilia allegations. So I'm doing an old we've read the documents type expose on that. I'm still, going to continue to cover, obviously, the debunking the witch hunt narrative, even though I don't do it as often now. But if people like some of the old school investigative work that I used to do, debunking the witch hunt narrative, well, there's 2 episodes of me going through the Rogers Park Jewish Community Center, and it actually ties into the Finders with Dr. Greenberg, Nyman Greenberg. I'll get to that in those streams. So if you want to listen to those, occasionally I do a news and views on there. I give my opinions on current news topics. So you'll get you'll get at least 2 most of the time, unless God forbid something goes, wrong in my life. You'll get about 2 new streams a week over there, maybe more, maybe. Sometimes I put interviews up there that I've done on other shows as well. So if you just want some extra We've Read the Documents content, it's only $5 a month. I'm not going to ever, I don't think I will, charge more than $5 for these things. I do want to obviously make a little bit for the effort that I'm putting in, but I don't want to charge people a whole bunch of money. I know things are tight and everything, and so I think I'll keep mostly everything at $5, I would assume. So, if you want extra content, sign up. I usually don't push them. Maybe I should talk about it more, just to let people know. But yeah, so if you want some more writing, my Substack, I'll put the links in the show notes. I'll pin it in a comment. So if you want to support my work and you want some extra stuff too as well, there was a time period where I wasn't able to post on Subscribestar because YouTube took my channel or kept giving me strikes. I think I might be able to private stuff on Libri now, so I might work on that. We'll figure it out. But yeah, so there's at least, I want to say 25 or 30 streams on the Subscribestar. That would be new information for people. That is not on We've Read the Documents. There's probably more streams than that. I'm probably undercutting it. But go subscribe, $5 for my Substack. All right, everybody. God bless you. We have some more streams coming up here in the future for this channel. Still got to do the third part with Alexander Dugan with S90. Still got to do the 2022 Mooney Conference with S90. Hopefully we'll get those done in a few weeks. I got another Tucker series coming out, which will be Tucker and his college-age gallivants down there with Dick Cheney, advisor and co-founder of Daily Caller and CAP member Neil Patel. He was down there with Neil Patel down there in Nicaragua running ops. So we're going to discuss that. Good old Tucker Carlson. Good old Tucker running ops down there in Nicaragua. So we'll discuss that. Tucker Carlson's also doing a special Tucker Carlson Investigations original with Louis Elizondo on aliens abducting people and mutilating their bodies. So that'll again be another continuation of me covering Tucker pushing the false alien agenda. So yeah, that will be another Tucker. So I got at least 2 more Tucker exposed videos. I probably got I got to do the Kabbalah one. If anybody has clips of Tucker wearing the Kabbalah bracelet, let me know, because Tucker is a practicer of Kabbalah. Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, I think that's it. I've been trying to leave for the past few minutes, but I just had more information to talk to you guys. God bless you, each and every one of you. Take care. Have a good day.